So, Dave, thanks for joining us. How's the week been since Saturday's game against Airdrieonians?
It's been a busy week. I think Monday, a lot of that was spent in the morning going over video from the game on Saturday, especially the stuff that we never done particularly well, which there was a lot of. So it was stuff that needed highlighted, needed shown to the players, some individuals, other bits as a team or shape and stuff like that. Because for the first 50 minutes of that game, we were a mile off it, which is unusual for us, the standards that we've set this season. But it's important to show it and make sure that the same mistakes don't happen again on Saturday, or else Airdrie exposes again.
Were you able to pinpoint those issues quite quickly and able to rectify them this week in training?
Yeah, I think when you go through the video and you watch it again, obviously when you're watching it on a Saturday, there'll be little things that you miss. You know things aren't going well, but you can't really put your finger on it. But yeah, the mistakes were glaringly obvious to all us that sat down and watched it. And again, we presented it to the players. None of them had any complaints. You realise that the stuff that we're saying wasn't good enough. And fair play to the players who were on the pitch. We turned it around second half, but we can't afford another 45 minutes like we had on Saturday, or else we'll lose the game because Airdrie are a very good team.
One thing that James in particular has mentioned in his interviews this season is that you aren't scared to make decisions, make changes if you feel things have not went right or you need to try and change things up to get back in the game. And that was certainly evident on Saturday, not just by making a double substitution just after the first goal, but also by putting on Uno2 for his debut just the day after signing, and Robbie Mann coming out of the cold really and making a big impact as well.
Yeah, I think it was just such a poor performance from us. And it's unusual at only 1-0 down in a game that you'd make changes so quickly. I just think it was around about the half an hour mark, but we just felt as though there was something needed to be done. We changed it, tried to shake things up a little bit, and it didn't mean that the couple of players that came off early were the worst players on the pitch for us. It just felt that we tried to shake things up a little bit, drop Mackay Todd a little bit deeper to try and get him on the ball and run him from deeper areas, getting Robbie on the pitch higher to try and stretch them. And again, we then concede a goal 5 minutes later. So at that point, you think it's not quite worked. But as the game went on, and obviously the second half of the sending off and the penalty, which helped us a little bit. But I thought the way we played after that against 10 men, which is never easy, we moved the ball quickly, we played at a real high tempo, switches of play. Then it looked to the longer the game was going on that we were the team in the ascendancy and going to go on and win it. But I say we can't have a performance like we had there that first 45 minutes because it was unacceptable in terms of work rate. And it's stuff that we could never throw at the players at all this season because they've been incredible for us, the way they work, their attitude, their commitment. The goals we conceded were poor, but sometimes you can let them away with that. I think up until Saturday in the league we'd only conceded 12 goals beforehand, so it's very unlike us. So we'll make sure that we're ready on Saturday. We've had a really good week's training now. The boys are looking very sharp, and make sure that we start the game the way we finished the game on Saturday there, and make Airdrie know they're really in a game from the start.
You've mentioned to me before about the strength and depth of the squad and that you would only bring in players if you felt that they were going to add to that. You brought in Uno too. You gave him that confidence and that trust by putting him in early on Saturday, and he repaid that with his performance as well.
Yeah, and I think it's also important we bring players in that they can be versatile and play different positions. Ewan can play left back, he can play in centre back positions, he can play in midfield as he showed on Saturday as well. Then somebody like that who can really add to the squad. And yeah, he's the right type. He's a good age now. He's got good physicality about him, very comfortable in the ball. And we just feel as though he can really add to the squad that we've got here. We've got a strong squad, a number of players that can play in different positions. We can change shape within games quite seamlessly. So yeah, Ewan's fit in well. He's settled in with all the boys without any issues. And yeah, I'm sure he'll be a good addition for the rest of the season.
And that strength and depth will give positive headaches for this weekend if you do decide that changes are required.
Yeah, I say a lot will come down to how the boys have trained this week, which they've trained extremely well. They're looking fit, they're looking sharp. So yeah, there will definitely be some selection issues for us ahead of the weekend in terms of how some people performed in that first half of the weekend. But again, we're not going to overreact in terms of it was unusual. It's unlike us to put a performance in like that. So we'll just pick what we think's the best team that can go and turn Airdrie over at home on Saturday and make sure that we get that right.
And I believe the squad is back up to a full complement now. Paul Allen back in full training.
Yeah, delighted to see Paul back. He's a very talented player. He's a player we've probably missed a little bit. He brings a lot of quality. Started the season ever so well, and unfortunately he's obviously broke his foot. He came back, he had a reaction again, and it's taken a bit of time. So he'll come back and he'll be like a brand new player for us as well. It'll maybe take him 2 or 3 weeks to really get up to speed, but when we do have him back, then he could be a big player for us in the run-in.